very entrepreneur, every entrepreneur, side hustler, or small business owner should know about, right? Key performance indicators, KPI. And tonight I'm joined by my man Randy White. He's going to be here with us every Wednesday to provide us his business insight, his knowledge. And so KPI, the secret sauce behind every successful business. Randy, welcome to the show. I saw regular panelist now.
Yeah, hey, hey, bro. Thanks again. Thanks for the initiative. Thanks for the invite and having me join the team.
Mhm.
Definitely something I couldn't turn down.
Sure, sure, sure.
As it is needed. To our viewers, if you're watching post live, you definitely want to turn in. We have interesting conversation and discussions being had specifically on Wednesday, but Monday through Friday as well.
Mm.
Wednesday is most likely when we have our business segment. So for those entrepreneurs out there, mark your calendar every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're gonna have different topics
Yeah,
and information.
definitely. And tonight, when you say we are breaking down KPIs, what they are, why they matter, how to track them, and how they can literally change the game for your business. So get ready, man, for some real talk. And I said, my man Randy said before we go live, he said before we go come in studio, he said he's going to take it at a mental level because there is something, as much as our people, a lot of us are entrepreneurial, we do side hustles. But KPI is one of those things that we don't take seriously, and so sometimes that's why we don't scale up. I know we have talked about scaling on this, on this show before. That's one of the reasons we don't scale up. So before we dive into the topic, folks, this is a growing movement. Follow us on, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, wherever you get your podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Twitter, LinkedIn. We are all over. Even TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, everywhere we are all over, folks. So join the movement. We are trying to, grow this thing and become a community impact show. Well, Randy, man, I know you. Before then, though, folks, you can contribute to the conversation tonight. By putting a comment in the chat, as Randy says, you are entrepreneur, you're a business owner. Also calling our number 952-594-5154. But you suggested this, right? KPIs. I know KPI is very important. I'm a finance professional by background. It's something like that. It's something, like I've been in corporate finance for a minute. So every time, it's like every month end, regularly, you're tracking these things, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, key performance indicators. Every successful business in this country, rely on this, for leaders to make decision. Why does he suggest that we should discuss this on the Inner Circle podcast tonight?
Um, the previous segment we that I was on, we talked
Hmm.
about another important topic, which was around, I think, taxation,
Hmm. Hmm.
and things like that. And there are a number of indicators
Hmm.
for businesses.
Yeah, yeah,
We, each business is its own,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Each business have unique activities, and so
Hmm. Hmm.
those indicators will not be the same
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
someone who's in transportation versus someone who's in
Yep.
healthcare.
Yeah.
Those indicators are relatively different.
Yeah.
Now, within our community, and not just in our community, just from a generational perspective,
Yeah.
it's 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 almost difficult for you to find Liberian businesses that are transgeneration,
Mm.
meaning
Mm.
going 40,
Yeah.
50, 60
Mm.
years,
Yeah.
right? And if you really look at the core of a business being a business longevity,
Hmm. Hmm.
is making sure that they have robust KPIs.
Yeah.
And these are indicators that tells you how your business is performing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about it from this perspective. It's like you're going to school
Hmm.
and for years and no one gave you a grade sheet.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, no one is grading you.
No
No
one
one
is
is
good.
grading.
Just think
Yeah.
about it. No one is really grading you. And
In your
so the
mind, you're doing well. Other people mind you're doing well, but no one is grading you. Are you getting straight A's? Are you getting straight
right,
C's? Are you getting straight B's? What is your grade? Okay.
right,
Yeah.
right, right. And
Mm-hmm.
so that was one of the reasons why I thought this would be a very good segment for us to kind of
Mm-hmm.
break it down,
Mm-hmm.
explain what they
Mm-hmm.
are, why
Mm-hmm.
they're important, and what steps you can take to really start to implement the most basic KPIs within your business system.
Okay. I'll give you the opportunity to, KPI, we're talking about it's an acronym, so it's like folks KPI, it's an acronym here, it's a key performance indicator, as my man Randy is referring to here, key performance indicator, But what comes to mind though, like the analogy that you use, right, about you're going to school all these years, no one is grading you, it makes me to think that's a lot of immigrant-run businesses are right, or maybe or maybe
Right.
especially when it comes to Liberian immigrant businesses. I mean, you see some folks. Don't get me wrong; they are very, very successful, right? It's like doing their thing. But if you come to them and say, "Hey, like, what is your revenue?" Maybe like let's come to the financial KPI. To your point, right? Okay, what's your revenue? You know what I mean? Maybe or your net profit, or your net profit margin. How I find it hard to believe that most of them will tell you that. Wrong or right? I mean,
And not to generalize, but from
no,
my
no, no.
from my
Yeah, yeah,
from
yeah,
my from my experience,
yeah.
you're right.
Mm-hmm.
From my experience, and again, it's not to point fingers in any
No,
direction,
no,
but
no, no, no.
it's primarily to highlight the need
Yes.
for why this awareness is important. Because
Mm-hmm.
again, it really speaks to the fact that why we don't have transgenerational businesses
Mm-hmm.
is because we don't have businesses that are with the foundation
Mm-hmm.
of indicators. and
Mm-hmm.
and KPI, key performance indicator, is something that I've fortunately I started my career in the manufacturing sector.
Yep.
um,
Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm.
lean manufacturing and all of those things.
Yeah.
Those things were were ingrained
Yeah.
in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And every element of a business, you look at establishing indicators because you
Yep.
want to know how the business is really doing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no business that I'm aware of that it is impossible for you to implement KPIs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not really difficult. It's essentially understanding your business activities and start to ask yourself some questions. Okay, what are the most basic things? You can start with the finance, right?
Yeah.
Businesses are designed to be profitable.
Yeah.
So
Financial. Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, the
so
financial KPIs
yeah,
obviously is the foundation, right? Financial KPIs is the foundation, obviously. Yeah. But
there
go
you
ahead.
go.
Yeah.
You can set up KPIs around your finances. You
Yeah.
can set up KPIs around your service. You can
Yep.
set up
Yep.
KPIs around your continuous improvement.
Yep.
You can set up KPIs around your delivery.
Yeah.
You can set up
Mm-hmm.
KPIs around your cost savings.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that you really cannot implement KPIs on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It may be something that we don't talk about as much in our community, but it is very, very important.
I mean,
um you,
yeah, even here, right? I mean, it's like this platform has only been around for a year, right? That's one of the things like we pride ourselves here, like tracking number one. Okay, it's like who are those watching like live shows, right? Our afterwards, who then watches the show, who are those engaging, it's like basically like your viewership or audience KPI, right? Tracking those, the
yes,
engagement, tracking all of those to see, okay, and then who are those subscribers, who are those like engaging on all the
yeah,
different level of platforms, so you can know, okay, where do we spend our where do we spend our effort in terms of marketing, in
there you
terms
go.
of outreach,
There you go.
how impactful are we,
Yeah,
and things like that, right? It's like you go out there, people are talking about, oh yeah, cycle podcasts and stuff like that. So to your point, KPIs is very, very important because it even helps you to measure your level of success. Are you
right,
having impact, you know what I mean, and
right.
stuff like that? What level of impact are you having? So to your point, so I do agree with you that it's not only I mean, when it comes to the financial aspect of it, the finances are the foundation, but you can track any kind of KPI if you want to.
You
But
could
again,
track.
but again, but I come back to it. When it comes to metrics, it seems to be our greatest weakness.
And it's I would say that's where our biggest opportunities lies.
Yes. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
where our
I do.
biggest opportunity lies, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of tracking like gross net profit.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
not the guy that look at the numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at the numbers, but not in dollars. I look at the margins.
Yes.
So I
Okay.
look at the
Yeah.
margin. So for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
my bottom line is, at the end of every month, I look at what was my profit margins.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
okay, I want to establish a baseline. So let's say my profit margin going into an investment is 8%.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I
Mm-hmm.
create opportunities where we can reduce those costs or increase revenue to
Mm-hmm.
start to drive the margins improvement.
Yeah.
How do we go from 8 to 10%? How do we go from 10 to 12%? How do we go from 12 to 20%? And you know what's going to allow me to do that? Those KPIs.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
KPIs. So
Yeah.
I give you an example. I have a logistics business in Liberia, and we were into distribution of key commodities.
Okay. Okay.
When we started the operation, we only had two employees.
Okay.
Now we got about 17 employees.
Oh wow. Oh yeah.
In Liberia, we had
Yeah.
7 employees in Sierra Leone.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Now, we didn't just go from 2 to 17.
Mm-hmm.
We went from 2 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 9. But what was allowing us to make that decision was paying attention to how we were growing the net, the gross, and the overall profit margins.
Yeah, we should have, and you brought up a great point, right? Yeah, I mean your net profit margin, which is we kind of measure your overall profitability after expenses.
Right.
Again, I mean you brought a key. That's a really good gem right there that you just dropped, right? Because like you will see a lot of businesses, I mean immigrant businesses or maybe back home, I mean on the continent, you see a lot of businesses that are bringing in boatload of revenue. But sometimes the expenses, man, is like it's over the top,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The expenses are over the top. Maybe the owner or whoever, right, is like driving, have 2 or 3 range, or you know what I mean? Even adding his personal expenses to that thing and all those stuff. So yeah, it bringing in gross,
Right.
but the net profit margin is not being looked at, keenly. So like that, if when you evaluate that business, you're saying, I mean, and sometimes that's what hinder growth. To your point, those are things that hinder growth.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's not sometimes. That's what limits you. Like just think about it. It's like you getting into a car, you're driving, and somebody tie your face. Like, how do you know where you're going?
Yeah.
How do you know when there's a red light?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How do you know when there's a yellow light, green light?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know when you're at a stop sign?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're running the business blindly.
Yeah.
Your KPIs are like your grade sheet. Let's just put it that way,
Yeah.
right? Your grade sheet, and you can set up KPIs for a vary of intervals.
Yeah.
You can set up KPIs for hourly,
Yeah.
daily, weekly, monthly. Whatever is
Mhm.
relevant to that particular KPIs.
Yeah.
One of the most difficult businesses to really thrive in the US is the restaurant business.
Okay. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it,
Definitely. Yeah.
it, it ebbs and flows,
Yep. Yep.
you
Yep.
know. So when
Yep.
I'm having a conversation with people that are looking to open restaurant business, I'm always telling them, hey, you better make sure your KPIs is solid out the gate,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's what's going to allow you to stay in this industry.
So what happened?
If you don't
I mean,
have
what happened?
KPIs, you're going to struggle.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, now what happened to businesses, right? Maybe like that. Okay, maybe they are in, when you get into some businesses, right? It's like, you don't even have to fight for revenue, right? Revenue comes. But what happened to some businesses that maybe, you know what I mean, that don't track KPIs or are not in the, like they don't have interest in tracking KPIs. What happened to those? What happened to such businesses?
Well, you look at the implications. You make an investment, you open a business.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume you're opening that business, one, to be profitable,
Okay.
right? You rarely ever had conversation with people where they're like, yeah, I'm just opening this business just to open the business. You open the business to be profitable,
Yeah.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
so by not implementing KPIs, you're jeopardizing your own objective as to why you open the business. You're not you're not putting yourself in a position for you to even achieve your objectives,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then number two, most business owners open the business to be profitable, but also open the business so that they can scale.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
can they can diversify their investment.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
again, not having KPIs, how do you know? Like I told you right now, we started with 2 employees, then we went to five, then we went to seven.
mm-hmm.
If I didn't have the KPIs, what would I have relied on to make a decision when it's time to add a new headcount?
Yeah.
So your
Yeah.
KPIs is really your bedrock. It's what
Yeah.
informs your business. Is what
Yeah.
tells you. So it's sometimes you don't even make the decision. The KPI is gonna make the decision for you.
Definitely, definitely. I do agree. I do agree with that because when you're looking at those numbers, you say, nah, that's
Right.
not good. I mean, okay, maybe like I think I mean, we have demand, but we are not making profit to bring in maybe like an extra employee. So I don't think that is
Right.
the time. Let's try to see how best we can make the current employee more productive, right?
There
You know what I mean?
there you go. There
More
you go.
productive rather than bringing in an extra body that's going
Right.
to cost us more, right? The KPI will
Right.
kind of inform you of that. You say, you know what? I think we should focus more on productivity versus
Yeah.
bringing in like an extra overhead,
Go
I
ahead.
mean, which is just going to, add cost and stuff like that. And to your point, right, there's real KPIs, right? General revenue, right? Non-profit, net profit, and then also customer retention. Those are, I mean, a lot of our people are in the service business, as you said, right?
Yeah.
The customer retention piece, do
Yeah.
we really focus on it more? I mean, if you have a mom and pop shop, right? Or maybe that, for example, the Waterside Market thing.
Yeah.
How many people are going to is Waterside Market tracking their, customers, in terms
Customers.
of
Yeah.
it? Because dude, Walmart does that.
Right. Exactly.
Walmart, Walmart does that. Target does
Yeah.
that. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
every
The thing.
retail, I mean, every retail place, business in this country does that. But
Right.
our local businesses, that because that you have, and because these things are very much competitive. I mean, so I did tracking those things in terms of customer retention, right? Because that will kind of determine, your traffic. I mean, your traffic level. Do you think they
True.
are tracking those things though?
No. And let me just add another element to it.
Yeah.
Not just Liberia, but if you look in Africa,
Yes.
the continent,
Yeah.
we don't have on a global scale, we don't have top 50, top 100, top 500 type companies, private companies. We
Yes.
don't.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why we don't is because we don't have like a Wall Street. We don't have stock market.
Hmm.
And because of the absence of the stock market, there is no generalization of a shareholder interest in making sure that certain companies survive. We don't
So
we don't have we don't have that connection. I,
yeah.
I,
So
I
what?
will draw, I will draw it back to KPI for a second.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Now,
Go ahead.
now,
Go ahead. Go
when you
ahead.
come to the US, you have a stock market.
Hmm.
You have shareholders.
Yeah.
Like for me, if I own Nike shareholder, if I'm a Nike shareholder, you know what that tells me? I am informed. I know how Nike stock is performing. Now, do you know how the stock markets are is it gets evaluated?
So
Those
KPI.
those yes, those CEOs go to the board of directors and they commit certain performance deliverables.
Yes.
They tell them, hey, I'm going to deliver X on margins. I'm going to deliver X on revenue. I'm
Yeah.
going to deliver X on year over year growth.
Hmm.
Those board of directors publish it. Once it gets published, it impacts the stock market.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
it impacts the stock market, people are like, oh, guess what? Apple shares going up. Apple shares going up because of what the CEO committed
Yeah.
to the board of director. And how
Yeah.
did he commit it? He didn't just go there and just tell them, "Oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this." He looked at data.
Yes. Yes.
He
Yeah.
looked at data. So again, from a micro level, not having these KPIs impact our businesses on a lower level. From
Yeah.
a micro level, right? Not having KPIs limits us from having a Wall Street type in Africa
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
businesses are not data driven. We're not ingrained into our operations.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I agree with you, right? It's like we don't take data seriously, and data is gold. I mean, I would even say diamond, or even more than diamond, right? Because to your point you raised earlier, like if Apple go to Wall Street and tell Wall Street analysts, okay, hey
yeah,
man, we're gonna sell 4 million iPhones this
yeah,
quarter. They
Yeah.
better make sure they sell 4 million iPhones.
Thank you.
If they don't sell those 4 million iPhones,
Thank
guess
you.
what? Wall Street is going to beat them down. And how
Yep.
they going to beat them down? Through that stock price.
Yep.
No CEO won that.
Yep.
No CEO won that. So obviously,
Yep.
right, is that if you commit to setting KPI or to setting deliverables to your point
Right.
earlier, and if you don't deliver those, they as a publicly traded company in this country, you're
Right.
gonna get in. I mean, your stock price is gonna get what beat.
You
You
go.
know what I mean, and
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know, that's
People
if
don't want
you,
to. People don't want to touch it.
no,
People don't want to
is it?
touch an investment because you're not predictable. And not only
Yeah.
are you not predictable, you don't execute towards
Mm-hmm,
your
mm-hmm,
prediction.
mm-hmm.
So the
Yeah,
ex your ability to predict relies on KPIs. Your
yeah,
ability to execute against those prediction relies on KPIs.
yeah, yeah.
And on us for another point is this is part of the reason why it's difficult for us to do two things. It's difficult for us to attract outside investors, and it's difficult
Yes,
for us to scale. Because
yes.
guess what? If you are if you're in Africa and you have someone in Switzerland
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
you have a business model
mm-hmm.
and you're trying to attract that investor,
Yeah.
you think they're gonna just have a phone call with you and say, "Hey, AB, here you go. Here's my 50 million." No, they want data.
Yes,
They
yes,
want
yes,
solid data.
yes,
And even
yes.
if you present the data, guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna scrutinize that data.
Yep,
So you
yep,
better be able to justify that data.
yeah,
And
yeah.
if you just throw numbers together, when they start scrutinizing you, guess what happens? You start fumbling.
Yes,
And when you
yes.
start fumbling, like, oh, this guy not serious. This is a 419. He doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He
yeah. No, 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 no. You brought up two great points though. But folks, to know we are discussing KPIs, key performance indicator, the secret sauce behind every successful business. You can join the conversation by putting a comment in the chat or calling our number 952-594-5154. What you brought up a great point, right? Is like the two things that hinder us to what? Number one, to scale and to gain maybe outside investors or funders, and that's why most of our businesses don't grow. I know you going to the continent, right? The whole thing, right? But for me, I want to stay here a little bit because like
Sure.
we came here, right? Most of us sometimes we have side hustles, right? Most of oh yeah,
True.
you will see someone, maybe have a full-time job, but have a side hustle, or someone, you know what I mean, maybe like establish a business, but year over year, you don't see them scaling.
Right.
You don't see them scaling. You know what I mean? It's like they don't have the. Is that it's not that they don't have the ability to skill. Be wondering, okay, like to your point earlier, the last time you were here, you talk about there are a lot of group homes around here. That's one of the business I would like to get into. But why are we not doing
The, the, the
assisted
senior living.
living thing? Yeah,
Yeah.
senior living or assisted living. Why are we not going to that level?
Right.
Because I think to your point earlier, because we are missing those KPIs. We are not tracking them. We are saying, okay, you might be bringing in revenue, but what are your expenses? What are you doing with all those money you are bringing in?
Right.
Right? What are you
Right.
doing with them? One of the things too they can track, right? I mean, when you come to the Wall Street analogy earlier, you bring in revenue, maybe that you have a huge cash flow or a huge profit margin. Are you reinvesting it? How are you, you know what I mean? That's why they take too, right? So because these are things that also affect your ability to
Right.
really scale. So
Right.
I think you brought up a great point earlier, is like the fact that we don't take KPI seriously. It is
Yeah.
affecting us, number one, to attract outside investors, which is
True.
key because that's how every business in the country grow. No
True.
business grow just by themselves, even through their profit margin. The great Apple. Apple
Oh yeah.
rely on outside investors.
Yeah.
Every business in this country, General Motors, Ford, every big business in this country,
Right.
Tesla. Elon Musk is the world richest man, but he rely on outside investors to scale. And that point that you brought up earlier, I think is a real gem right there. That's why we don't grow.
The there's a study out there right now that approximately about 37% of all of the commodities used and
Hmm.
consumed
Hmm.
in the war right now is manufactured in China.
Wow.
37%.
Okay.
You know
Okay.
how the Chinese got there?
No.
Data.
Yes.
There's something called the Toyota production system.
Yes.
They right now it takes them less than 3 minutes to make a Toyota in a factory.
Yes.
And you know what their goal next
Mhm.
year? They're gonna reduce it. The following year, they will reduce it.
That's the goal. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
The reason they're able to do that is because they are data
Driven.
driven, discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they touch, they want to understand how they perform.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they touch, they are
Mm-hmm.
obsessed with data.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's why you see now everybody that wants to do business, they're running to China.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
that's something that we need to start to incorporate within our little business that we're doing. And like I said, it's not complex.
No.
It's not complex. You can start
No.
with a simple KPI, one. Every month, you look at adding another one, but then you start tracking it.
Yeah.
You start sitting down. You have your monthly review.
Yep.
You take a look at,
Mm-hmm.
hey, how did we do last month?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we did this. Did we meet target? And it's not so much about meeting target. It's like, how did you perform to target?
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe your target. Okay, you just say your target was 20.
Mm-hmm.
January, you got the 2. February, you got 4. March, you got 6. You know what I'm saying? That's progress.
Yeah.
But if you're,
Yeah.
let's say, let's say your target is 20. Let's say you start by establishing the KPI,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't do any data collection.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
your target is 20. How did you do in January? Well, I'm not too sure. How did you do in February? Well, I'm not too sure. How did you do
Yeah.
in March? Well, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But if your target is 20, January, let's say you got 19. February, you got 18.
Yeah.
March, you got 17. April, you got 10. That's telling you whatever you started doing,
Mm-hmm.
you haven't kept it up. That's why you're losing. That's why you're not meeting your target. Not only are you not meeting your target, but your achieved target is reducing.
Yeah.
That then the alarm goes up. Okay, guys, we got 19 January, February we got 17, March we got 15, and April here we got 10. What's going on?
What's
Let's
going
talk
on?
about this.
Yeah.
How can we
Yeah.
reverse this trend? But if you
Yeah.
don't put the system in place, you'll be sitting down there and somebody will call you and say, my man, we started with 19, but now we get 0.
Definitely, right? Definitely. And to your point, right? And to your point, but let's whole KPI. Our brother is bought himself a driving some weird Germany. Company that uses KPI effectively are 3 times most likely, right, to hit their strategic goal.
Yeah,
Seven,
yeah,
3 times more likely to hit their strategic goal. And then 70% of high growth small businesses track at least 5 KPIs
yeah,
regularly.
yeah,
70%. Imagine that. High growth. I'm
yeah,
not talking about growth, but high growth.
right,
Small businesses track at least 5 KPIs. So KPIs are very important to our business. They are very, very important. And the
yeah,
other thing I want to bring up here is not only like it's for every business, even nonprofit. If you have a nonprofit, right? You
yeah,
gotta know. I mean, you gotta track like donor retention, right? Cost per data raise. Your
right,
program impact. If you're
right,
having maybe event, right? Event attendance. So
yeah,
for everything you run into me, right? I'm glad that you already brought this up to be successful to realize. And I mean, I mentioned Inner Circle podcast earlier, right? To make sure that we're having an impact in the community, to make sure that we got to work track KPIs. Other than
true,
that, we'll just be here every Monday to Friday, just be babbling.
true,
Okay.
true,
And we don't know, okay, are we growing? Are we
yeah,
having any meaningful impact and stuff like that?
right.
So in order to grow, you have to track KPIs.
You do. I mean,
Yeah.
I own a mortgage brokerage.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I track KPIs.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
track my pipeline. I track new prospect. Every month, I need to make sure I'm reaching out to at least 5 new realtors. I track my file that I closed, my file that I in underwriting, my file that got denied and why they got denied. I track those things because I want to make sure that I have visibility to the things that are driving the success of the business.
Yes. Yes.
And if,
Yeah.
if like for example, if I'm not reaching out to those 5 realtors every month, how am I going to expand my pipeline, which is one of
Yeah.
my strategic goals?
Exactly.
My
Yeah.
strategic goal is to expand my pipeline.
Yes.
How
Yes.
can I do that? Well, do some marketing, but also do some face-to-face connection to
Yeah.
network, reach out to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I don't
Yeah.
do that, my pipeline is not going to grow.
Yeah. But you see, but you brought up a great point too. I think that's one of our greatest weakness: discipline and consistency. Because KPIs take discipline and
Yeah,
consistency already.
Yeah.
It takes discipline. I
Yeah.
mean, to track, you're talking about to achieve a strategic goal where you have to sit there, like maybe that I said, like if you are tracking those weekly, monthly, it takes discipline. You
Yeah.
cannot drop the ball on it any moment because the moment you drop the ball, you're going to lose track of it.
True.
So it takes discipline, it
True.
takes consistency, you know, and it takes attention to detail as well. These are things we struggle with in our communities, whether from back home, from Africa up to here. These are things we struggle with:
Right.
consistency, discipline, and attention to detail.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and again, because we struggle with it doesn't mean just thinking on the bright side. Because we struggle with it doesn't mean one, we cannot create awareness about it.
Oh
Two,
yeah,
we
yeah, yeah,
cannot adapt
yeah.
and start to understand and develop the basic understanding of it. And three, doesn't mean that we cannot perfect it.
Yeah.
If you go back in 1980s, the Chinese did not perfected production.
No, no.
But they
Mhm.
started somewhere. They created an awareness. They're like, hey, you know what? One of our strategic goal is to become the largest, if not one of the largest economies in the world. At one point in time, Germany had a larger GDP than China.
Yeah,
But guess
yeah,
what?
yeah.
They're not even comparable right now.
No, 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 no.
You
I mean,
know,
it's like, China. I mean, to your point, China set a goal of becoming the world manufacturing hub.
yeah,
Anything you think about, anything you think about, is say, hey,
you
we'll
can
make
get
it
it
for you.
there.
We'll
Yeah,
make it for you. Anything
we'll
you
make it for
want to do,
you.
we'll make it for you. And
Yeah,
those things takes
they
data,
take they take
data.
data.
You
Yeah,
know.
they take data, they take discipline, they take the execution. So again,
Mhm.
there is a lot of businesses in the Liberian community, in the immigrant community at large, especially in
Mhm.
Minneapolis, man. I mean, in Minnesota. I mean, the immigration population here is significant, and
Yeah.
we're contributing so much to the Minnesota bottom line, top and bottom line.
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
so just to make our presence be more profound, right, we need to start to develop these discipline,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
We need to start to formalize our business management system.
Yeah.
We need to
Yeah.
formalize it, not just speak to it, but to say, hey, you know what, here are my KPIs and here are my tracker. Here are the things that I track, and then when it even helps when you're working with with the somebody who's doing business consultation.
Yes.
It
Yep.
even it even help, right? Because rather than going to your consultation and saying your consultant and saying, hey, listen, I need you to fix my problem and I don't know where to start. If you're tracking KPIs, when you go for those consultation, you're drilling your conversation around the area that need the most attention.
Okay.
You're like, hey, you
Yeah.
know what? I don't have an issue with revenue. I don't have an issue with retention. But guess what? I have an issue with scrap. I'm
Yeah.
throwing away way too much of my products that I'm manufacturing. That's
Mhm.
where I need to focus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're gonna ask, well, how do you know? Here are the data.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, for our community, right? Obviously, folks, tonight we are discussing our KPIs, our key performance indicators, the secret sauce behind every successful business, behind every business, especially successful ones. And so you can contribute to the conversation by putting a comment in the chat or calling our number 952-594-5154. But there's a very, very important topic. I think so, creating awareness for our people, those are you entrepreneurs, those are you business owners. You have already gone through the how of establishing a business. To maintain that business, for that business to be successful, the definition of success in this country, for that business to be successful, not the Liberian brand of success, not the African brand of success, but for that business to be successful, KPI should be a secret sauce. It should be something that you should take very, very seriously. But when you do, what are some of the common tools, right? I mean, as we create awareness around this, what are some of the common tools folks can use to track their KPIs? Some of the common tools. Someone who listening to us
Right.
tonight is okay. I mean, I think you guys here, these two guys that are speaking in over my head. You know what I mean? So I mean, I have
Right.
their business here, but they are speaking in over my head. What are some of the common tools that they can, start with?
At the most basic level, start with Excel.
Yes.
At,
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
most basic level, start
Yeah.
start with Excel.
Yeah.
Um, literally, you can go to YouTube and just, if you don't know how to create table and things like that, you can just start with Excel.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
you want to understand how, each KPI, like I said, they have varying intervals,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you
Mm-hmm.
you recognize your KPI, you just plug them in Excel, and if you're tracking on a monthly basis, you will have a slot for January,
Yeah.
February, March, April. It's really that basic. It's really that basic.
Mm-hmm.
You can even put it in Microsoft Word, right? You can create a
Yeah.
table in Microsoft Word,
Mm-hmm.
and just start typing it in there. This month we got 50%. This month we got 25%. This month we got 30%. And you just start by making those incremental progress and updates. So it's not really difficult to be able to start, like I said.
Yeah, and you know what I mean. Obviously, thanks to technology, right? I think there are also some apps out there, right? Other apps out there that you can probably even utilize, and also, if you're someone who is a man, I'm not used to the whole technology thing, or Excel is not my thing, or maybe Word is not my thing. You can even start with your notebook. If you used to writing, you know what I mean. It's like you can
Yeah,
start from some. The key, I think, the point around is trying to drive home here. Start
yeah,
that process of
yeah,
tracking your KPIs, your key performance
yeah,
indicators. What is your goal? What are your strategic goals, right? It's like you see yourself, maybe let's assume, in 2025 or 2024, you generated maybe $1,000 in revenue. Okay. What is your goal for 2025? Right? What's your goal for
yeah.
2025? The only
Right.
decision that's going to inform that, right? In your whatever goal you have, the only thing that's going to help you achieve that goal, even going to inform that goal, is are your KPIs,
True.
and stuff like that. So to run this point, you can start anywhere. And sometimes one of the things too we don't do a lot in our community, right? If that's something you don't know but you really need. I think every business need KPIs. Every business need KPI. There are a lot
Yeah,
of resources out here for there are a lot of great resources out here, free resources. But also, do get consultants to help you, get a financial
true,
consultant, someone who in data analytics, to help you set
true,
up these, set them up for you, right? So
true.
that you say, hey, they can help you set them up, and then you can get into the habit of tracking them. Because if you
Right.
don't track them, you don't know, you will never know whether you're growing or not, folks. You might feel money coming through the door, but that money, the reason why, to run this point earlier, we don't scale in our community and we don't attract us our funding, because yeah, the money is coming, but we don't know where the money is going. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
We don't know where
yeah,
this money is going. All the money is coming, but we
yeah.
don't know how the money is being spent, where the money is going, and what happening to the money, because there
Sure.
are no KPIs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
There's no KPIs, and also the lacking KPIs, as a business person, it disengages you from the business. So there's this thing called working on the business versus working in the business.
Working on the business versus working the business. Break that down for folks. Break that down.
Okay. So working on the business is where you've identified all of the critical things that are needed to be done, that aligns with your strategic growth,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
Absolutely.
working on the business, so let's say, for an example, um, assisted living, right?
Yeah.
My wife owns
Mm-hmm.
an assisted living.
Mm-hmm.
There's marketing goals, right? You got to
Mm-hmm.
continue to do outreach to
Mm-hmm.
continue to promote your brand.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
there's also qualitative goals.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that you have your licenses updated.
Yeah.
You know, make sure that you have your certifications updated. All
Mm-hmm.
of the things that can essentially shut you down instantaneously.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Those are things you need to maintain visibility to.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
hey, our survey is coming up due, right? Our
Mm-hmm.
renewal is coming up due.
Yeah.
If maintaining visibility to those things is working on the business.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Work
Yeah.
working in the business is like, hey, the client needs to go to their psychiatric appointment,
Okay.
right? This
Mhm.
person, we need to do their assessment every 90 days.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like you are inside of the business, right? And so if you don't maintain a balance of working on the business versus working in the business, you know what's going
Mhm.
to happen. You
Mhm.
are going to lose track of the things that really drive the business.
Yeah.
The things that are
Mhm.
really drive that enable the business to stay functional.
Mhm.
You're going to lose visibility of it, and that awareness in itself allows you to start to track KPIs.
Yeah. Yeah.
That awareness in itself. So like our, like for example, my wife assisted living, we have a template that we use.
Okay.
We have a template that we use.
Mhm.
Every month we have our quality monthly quality management meeting.
Mm.
We have this template.
Yeah.
This allows us to work on the business.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
set time aside. We review all of those KPIs,
Mm. Yeah.
right? And we we
Mhm.
we have a summary at the end of that meeting,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? From there,
And
we're
then.
like, okay, this is going right. This is going right. This is going right. Oh, by the way, guess what? We have a marketing meeting next Thursday.
Mhm. Mhm.
We're gonna go to a marketing meeting next Thursday.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
so it's a system that really allows you to make sure you are engaged with your business. You're not disengaged.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
No,
know,
no, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. That's a very great point, right? I mean, working on the business and working in the business. And I would say maybe most of our people are working in the business because the business bringing money, right? It's
right,
like so we feel that hey, man, the revenue is coming, but
right,
folks, revenue is only one component of the business. It's
true,
only no. This most of our businesses sometimes have great revenue coming in, but revenue is just one piece, right? It's like
yeah,
if you're not tracking to run this point earlier, net profit margin or your operating cash flow. And cash flow
yeah,
is very, very important. Cash
yeah,
flow is very, very important because it measures how fast, you're getting cash from your operation, not just what on paper. Most of our money is sometimes on paper. Oh man, because we are comfortable having money in bank, right? Once that money is in our account, right?
right,
Some of
right,
us want to see our physical cash in our account, right? Hey, my business account have X, Y, and Z, so I'm comfortable, right? But I'm not really tracking my cash flow, my operating cash flow and all the other stuff, or my gross profit margin or my net profit margin, right? I'm not tracking those. So
right,
it's like to the point you brought earlier, is like working on a business versus working in a business. That's a
right.
very, very, very key distinction because I think most of our people are working in the business. And I
Yeah,
think it's getting it from that mindset to come and say work on the business. But when you work on the business, to your point, if you have a monthly meeting to say, okay, how's this business doing? There will be takeaways.
true.
Now the next time you say, hey, you get each person here. Here's your task, right? Give is
Yeah,
it maybe Randy? Okay, you have this task to do. We are not bringing in maybe like our client. We don't have enough client coming to the assisted living. Why is that? Or maybe
there
we
you
have
go.
five clients left. Why is
Yeah,
that? You know what
yeah,
I mean? Stuff like that. Or maybe MDH came next month and said, "Hey, you guys, maybe you guys are not meeting certain standard,
there
right?
you go.
Now those are takeaways, right? Those
There
are
you go.
tasks, right? Each of you now say, hey, we have to work on that because the
Yeah,
KPIs allow you in your monthly meeting with those KPIs, right? Allow you to say now, okay, we have to solve those things because if we don't solve them, it's
right.
going to create a bigger problem for us.
Yeah, but even going to, so we've been speaking for the most part here. We've been speaking um
For about 45
post
minutes.
we've been speaking post business
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
post business inception.
Yeah,
So we've
yeah.
been talking about when the business has operationalized.
Yes, yes.
KPIs even should start before that.
Oh, yeah,
So like business plan. What informs your business plan?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why did you decide to invest in an assisted living?
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
just roll out of bed and like, hey, we're gonna do this? Or was there a solid business plan put together with numbers?
Randy, our people don't do that though.
Right, but what I'm saying is
Yeah,
those are
yeah, I
things
know. I know.
those are
Yeah.
things that we need to start to do.
Yes. Yes.
These are
Yeah.
things that we need to start to do. So let's say you're opening up a restaurant in Osceola.
Yeah.
Who are your
Yeah.
competitors?
Yep.
What's the demographic?
Yes.
If
Yeah.
you're opening up a Liberian restaurant in Osceola, how many Liberians are in Osceola?
Yeah.
Why
And
Osceola?
And can you, the other thing that you have to say, can you, right, go
Right.
beyond just the Liberian
Yeah.
demographic?
Right.
You know,
Right.
I mean, just Liberian customers.
Right.
That's where your market analysis, right? Your market analysis and even your marketing plan, right?
Right.
Which form part of your business plan could come in, your marketing plan could come in and say, okay, you know what? Maybe Osio has only 500 Liberians, but there are a lot of
Right.
Caucasian there, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
what can we offer? What can we offer
Right.
on this menu that might
Right.
attract, you know, those Caucasian or those Asian or those monk, those South Asian customers? Because as I've said here many times on the show, you give me the Liberian fried rice anytime versus Chinese fried rice, I will take the Liberian fried rice. But for some reason,
True.
for some reason, we all go
True.
to the Chinese store. We all
True.
go to the Chinese restaurant 24/7. Okay. Okay. We all go,
True.
we all go to the Chinese restaurant 24/7 to eat just that Chinese fried rice. Why?
Right.
I don't get it. When and if we bring a successful Liberian, you know, because Liberians can cook, you better, the restaurant thing. Just like the fried rice
So
or the jollof rice, you know what I mean? So if we can do a good marketing analysis, right, to put a solid business plan together and really market that thing, open a good restaurant here, man, people start leaving those Chinese restaurants that be running to us, no doubt.
absolutely. So what you just described just now is what I
Yeah.
would consider, and most people would consider to be a niche. That
Yes.
the Liberian fried rice, that's a niche, right? Not everybody can provide that
No.
the way
No.
we can provide it.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? But now it needs to be commercialized.
Yes. Yes.
It needs to
Yes.
be commercialized.
And
Just
that's
like
why it's
people talk,
struggling. Yeah.
and that is a niche, right? That's something that someone can come up with a solid business plan and have a very successful business model.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
very successful business model. Rather
Yeah.
than me going to Zing, rather than me going to Zing Zing,
This is
I just go I just go to whoever have that fried rice available.
yeah. Yeah.
You you
Definitely.
you 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 know,
Yeah, definitely. And even the fried chicken. I mean, like the way, right, about Liberian season of fried chicken for you, bro. Okay, and you eat it versus the fried chicken you can eat at this Chinese restaurant. You be wondering, or the other places, right? Is that you be wondering why are we not commercializing things, right? Because it depends,
yeah,
like mass, like it should be mass commercialization. Why
yeah,
are we not
mass
doing that?
production.
Yeah, mass
Yeah,
production. Why are we
yeah,
not
and
doing
it's
that? You
and,
know,
and it's even to some degree is happening in our community. I've seen you probably once or twice on the soccer field.
yeah, 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 yeah,
When you go on the soccer field, you see these mini grills
yeah,
all over
yeah,
the place.
yeah, yeah.
You see people grilling.
Mhm, 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 mhm,
That
mhm.
that's you don't see Chinese people there doing a fried rice or a fried chicken. Most of who you will see on that field is people within the immigrant community,
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
That
yeah,
they've recognized that business sector,
yeah,
and now
yeah.
they're like, okay, you know what? Although I don't have a restaurant, but guess what? I'm going to get my grill, and every Sunday I'm going to be grilling out here because I know these Liberians, these Cameroonians, these Nigerians are going to come and they're going to eat
Mhm,
my meat.
mhm, 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 mhm,
you know,
mhm.
and,
Yeah,
and, and they
yeah,
and they do it very well. And I guarantee you,
yeah,
when those people are leaving,
yeah.
just about all of their meat are sold.
Definitely, 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 definitely. But I mean, but that's a great point, right? But my thing is, right? Yeah, we are doing all these small operations. We need to scale it. We need
Scale
to
it.
scale
We
it.
need to scale it.
I mean, I have seen it many times. Every time a Caucasian eat a Liberian, maybe they go to a Liberian event and eat a Liberian, cuisine. They say, "Whoa, this is so good."
Right.
The spice is so nice, and things like that. We can scale this thing to make it go midstream. We have
Yeah.
not been able to
True.
do that. We have
True.
not been able to do that. And to me, and to your point earlier, it requires KPIs. It requires
True.
a solid business plan. It requires
True.
because you have to. I think for us to scale our restaurant operations, right, our cuisine, it's going to take us out funding. It's going to take
True.
someone to say, "Hey, man, I believe in this thing, that
Yeah.
you're trying to do, but
True.
give me some numbers."
Yeah. There you go.
Give me some
There,
numbers, right? To your point
there
earlier.
there
Give
you
me
go.
some numbers to prove to
Yep.
me
To
that
prove to
if I
me.
invest $1 million in this thing,
Right.
that it can go midstream, that I can get my money back.
True.
Yeah.
True. True. And
So
even to be honest with you, even the lack of KPIs doesn't even allow us to identify the appropriate investment opportunities.
yes.
The lack of
Man,
KPIs
you keep
don't.
dropping gems here tonight.
No,
I've said it on the okay. I've said it on this show. You know what I mean? On our business segment here every Wednesday, and Miss B wanted to take me to court. I said it's like every time, like every librarian, right? Like I'm in the group, like every librarian. By the time you see this business get money, every librarian wants to go into that business. What's
true,
driving that decision? Is it
true.
what? Is it FOMO? Is it fear of missing out on money, or is that being driven by data?
I can
Is
tell
it?
you one thing. I can tell you
Yeah,
one thing, bro. It's not.
yeah,
It's not driven on data. It's driven on formal conversation.
yeah.
Hey, my man, AB, I doing anything else? You got money.
and, and, and because I have a
You
fear of
know,
missing out,
right,
I'm going to probably say, I mean, is it? I'm going to try to do everything to try to get into it
right.
without any data informing my decision.
And I'll tell you another thing too.
Yeah.
We were very fortunate. My wife and I were very fortunate.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
We 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 did an analysis about about engaging or investing in the group home space
mm-hmm.
before we made the investment.
Okay, okay.
So when I put the table together,
Uh-huh.
there was two scenarios that we
Yeah,
looked at.
yeah.
Scenario one was we jump into it right away and we rent a house.
Okay. Yeah.
Scenario two was we invest through our real estate,
Mm-hmm.
get the house, and
Mm-hmm.
open the business.
Yeah.
We went with scenario two. You know
Okay.
why we went with scenario two?
Why?
Because scenario two, while it was more expensive
Yeah.
upfront,
Yeah.
it increased our margins from like 17%
Mm-hmm.
to about 37%.
Wow. That's huge.
Right?
That's
Yeah,
it double. It practically double your margin.
right. And within 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
the margin increase would have paid for the property.
Yes. Okay.
You
Okay.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. Yeah.
had we gone with scenario one, we would have been stuck with this 17%, predicted 17%, because we renting that property.
And the other thing to that though, right, is like the fact that you model that out. It basically did like it basically modeled it out, right? It's like you know what I mean, and you did the analysis on it. The fact that you did that, right? If you're going to go the rental, your option one of renting it, it also had an operational risk.
True, true.
Owner of the property,
Property.
the,
There you go. Yeah, that
the
was
operation,
also
yeah,
included.
I
That was
see that.
also,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that
It
was
also have
also
operational
included.
risk, yeah. And maybe further down the line, depending on how many years lease you sign, the owner might say, "Oh, whoa, okay. I mean, it's big. I mean, they think it's for business. I'm seeing it.
Right,
I'm saying I know how much this business can make, so I'm going
right.
to probably increase the rent, and that could
There you go.
potentially decrease your 17% margin that you
There you
model
go.
out, right? And
There you
now you
go.
are stuck, and that could hinder your growth because now you are stuck, right?
There
Your
you go.
17% that you model out now it's
Right.
probably down to what 10%. You
Yeah.
don't have the ability to scale.
KPIs allows you to have business plan, but then
Yeah,
it allows you to identify risk and opportunities.
yeah, yeah,
Right. So
yeah,
we
yeah.
with scenario one, we identified that as a risk. The opportunity in scenario one was, hey, this is something we can do within 5-6 months.
Okay. Yeah.
Scenario
Yeah.
two, this is
Okay. It was
something like,
quick.
hey,
Yeah. Yeah. Quick. Yeah.
this thing is going to take us about a year,
Okay. Okay.
right? Because we need to first get the property, we need to
Yeah.
renovate the property,
Okay.
right? So not only does scenario two allow us to increase our margins, right, our projected margins, but then it also allow us to build generational wealth in the sense that our assistant live, our home care business
Mm-hmm.
is paying rent to our real estate business,
Wow.
which owns the property.
Yeah. Yeah. Easy. Hey, there you go. Smart, smart, smart,
You
smart investment move right there.
right. You see
Very
what I'm
smart
saying?
investment move. Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it that the KPIs allows us to tell the story and then say, okay, which one makes sense now?
Yeah.
We want to do that one or we want to do the other one? Right.
And
You
both of them, to your point, right? Once you did a SWOT analysis, right? What you saw, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So once you did that SWOT analysis, right? Your strength, your
the
weaknesses, the
weakness,
opportunities,
the
and the threat,
opportunity.
and the
Yeah,
threat. The threat I pose, right? Once you did that, you say, okay, you know what? This, right? The weaknesses in scenario two is going to take longer.
right.
And at that point, why it's taking longer, we might be losing money. You
Money.
know,
There you go. Yeah,
we might be losing money. And the way sometimes we Africans think, I mean, leaving money on the table, do that thing right now. Okay, yeah, you leaving money on the table, do that thing right now. But
right.
hey, you might be leaving money on the table now, but by you doing your due diligence,
Right.
making sure the father you matter out, you make
Yeah.
sure like your KPIs inform you to make a sound business decision. They say, okay, you know what? We're going to go with scenario two because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it is going to allow us to what? To do anything we want, basically. Anything we want.
Give us more flexibility
Yeah, yeah,
generational wealth.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So the KPIs is very, very important.
Well,
It's very, very important. I can give you another example.
go ahead. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So my logistics business that I have in West Africa,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I started it by looking at it from a pharmaceutical perspective.
Okay.
But
Okay.
later on, the primary scope of the business changed from pharmaceutical to essential commodities for babies.
Wow. Okay.
What informed my decision was data
Yeah.
of the top 40 the top 40 countries in the world that have the highest birth rate. 39 of them is in Africa.
Wow.
Liberia is ranked number 14th.
Man.
Sarah,
How did you come across such a that's what I'm saying. It's like KPIs take discipline, really.
I'm telling you,
It takes discipline.
I'm
It
telling you,
It takes
there,
you having sleepless night, and that's what you're telling our people to do, and we're
yeah,
encouraging them to do tonight. No, but
right.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
So Liberia is ranked number 14th. Sierra Leone is ranked number 17th. Nigeria is ranked 24th.
Wow.
Ghana, I think, is like ranked, 31st or 32nd.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So basically, that information, when I analyze it, I'm like, listen, these countries are borning babies left and right.
If I'm right, yeah.
There are over 300,000 babies born in Liberia every year.
Whoa. I
Yes,
mean, you have a data that the government. I can't. I don't think the government even tracking that. I don't
bro.
know.
The average age for Liberia right now is like 18 years old.
Whoa.
Liberia have one of the youngest population
Damn.
on the globe.
Wow.
I mean, the next time you go to Liberia, just go to JFK Hospital. When you enter the maternity ward, you hold your head. But from a business perspective, guess what?
Yeah.
These 300,000 mouths, they needs to be fed. They
Wow.
need clothes. So what I did, I created a business model around that.
Hmm.
I created a business model to provide high quality nutritional infant formula and cereal for babies.
Man.
And I introduced it in Liberia 2023. Now it's taken over Liberia, and people are coming from Sierra Leone and Guinea to buy it. So I'm expanding to West Africa.
Wow.
So you talk about KPIs. I created a business plan and I did a presentation to about 9 Liberians looking for investors, looking for capital. And I was able to get few people interested. But the reason I was able to do that because I had my ducks in a row. I had my numbers. I
Yeah.
was able to tell them what my revenue was from 2023 to 2024. What are
Hmm.
my what markets have I captured?
Yeah.
What are my growth targets?
Yeah.
What are my
Wow.
expansion goals and what are my timeline?
Wow.
Yeah. And
Man.
I was able to get people like some people are looking at me like, Mama, you've been doing it here for how many years? I'm like 2 years. you know,
Probably tell us about me being busy for 50 years. We get the amount of data of being busy for 50 years. We don't have the amount of data that you have,
right.
you know. But that's the importance of data though. I mean, that's the importance of data.
Yes.
Data
Yes.
inform data. I mean, like look, the reason why Facebook is so successful, the reason why Google is so successful, data. I mean,
Data.
Facebook, I mean, these social media companies, the only reason they are successful is data. It's data.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing we're discussing here tonight, that's what makes them so successful.
Yeah.
Data.
Yeah.
Amazon, the reason Amazon can deliver to you jet to day with other Amazon will be at your door maybe in the next couple of hours.
It's data.
Data,
Yeah.
data,
Yeah.
KPIs,
Yeah.
KPIs. So the fact that you can do that and take it to a country without even the right, I mean, without any infrastructure, but the fact that you could, produce that data before
Yeah.
you mention them, but the people mentioning now diamond here because I gave you call it go. The basic like diamond here, they don't know it, right?
Yeah.
And no
Yeah.
one knows that because like one of my frustrations sometimes with Africa, and even especially Liberia, everybody will tell you money there. But you ask them, okay, what tell me where
Where the money
money
is.
money, yeah, is the money. And if you tell you about stuff, if you do transportation, okay, taxi.
Right.
I've been right. I've been in Liberia. I know every every taxi driver is corrupt as hell. That way you want me for my money. They say, oh yeah, or maybe right now, or then you hear people telling you, oh no, just pay housing. You get Airbnb. I say, okay, Airbnb do is like how many people in Liberia, right? Have that. I will be depending on folks here to come from here to go rent my Airbnb. Tell
Right.
me more. Give me
Right.
data that you not just tell me money here. Come invest. That's
But
it.
you
That,
but you know what, AB though? You know what, AB,
mm-hmm,
I'll tell you this.
mm-hmm.
The the people that are controlling our economy, meaning the foreigners,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they are not sophisticated.
Oh no, yeah, 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 yeah.
This thing what we're talking about KPIs, they don't have it.
I mean, once you go Africa, you take the African man mentality.
Man, listen, the business mindset and the business approach in Liberia is very simple from a
Yeah,
foreigner's perspective.
yeah.
Just dump everything here, sell it, or buy it.
Because they feel that it's a survival mentality.
Right. But
It's
now,
survival. Yeah.
but now,
Mm-hmm.
when you have the awareness and you have the understanding and you have the KPI and you build the business model,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they cannot compete with you.
No, 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 no,
I'm telling you that's
no,
the reason why no matter what any phone company does, they don't compete with Apple.
no,
Like
no.
it's bedrock
Yeah,
in the operational model.
yeah, yeah,
You know that
yeah.
they are ingrained with the business model, and it's based on KPIs.
Yeah.
The minute they can make the iPhone, they charge 15,000 for it. People will buy it.
Go by. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Because
Yep.
they understand.
You understand the
You
market?
know, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they understand.
You reach. You reach.
BMW, Tesla, Volkswagen, these companies, they run on KPIs.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
They
Yeah.
they do. I'll be honest with you. That's why even you go UAE, you go all these places. You know where those men invest their money? They invest their money in the US and
America.
in the European stock market.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do
Yeah.
you think they do it? Because of
Because.
the robust system
Yeah.
that they have.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
The
Data.
robust
The
system
numbers. Yep. Yep.
based on data,
Show.
based on numbers.
Show me the number,
Show me
and
the
it's
numbers.
data. Show me the number. It's data.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's very, I'm telling you guys, if
Yeah.
anyone have questions, you're watching this, you have questions about KPIs, you want a free consultation, you just want to pick my brain, you just want to have conversation, reach out.
Folks,
Reach out to me. It's very,
definitely.
very important that you do.
Yeah, yeah. Folks, that's why we made sure we say the man is gonna be a regular Wednesday man because his brain because his brain is what I mean and stuff, right? It's like he wants to build generational wealth. He wants to build wealth in our community, and that's what I admire him for. He definitely wants to build wealth, and these things come from learning common business idea, information provide here every Wednesday. This is the only platform we, as much as like we do all our thing, but we have committed a day
To
for
business. Right.
business and finance, folks. It's important for our community. It's very, very important for our community. I know we in our community would like to avoid this conversation, but it's important. We got a lot of entrepreneur minds in our communities. A lot of folks who got great ideas. But as Randy is talking about, as we discuss the secret sauce tonight, we like KPIs. That's why we don't scale. That's why we don't attract funding, outside funding,
Yeah.
because we lack the business acumen. Not because you're in business, then you got business acumen.
True.
Not because you're in business, then you got business acumen. You got to know what goes into operating a business. Well, folks, there's a 1 hour show. We've been here, we've been, Randy been giving you some good knowledge, dropping some great gems. But we can stay here all night. We'll try to wrap this thing up, as we discuss KPI, the secret sauce behind every successful business. And KPI is key performance indicators, the
Indicators.
data, the data behind every numbers. But Randy, man, as we try to wrap this thing up, all of our entrepreneurs out there, all of our business folks out there, some of them think, my business successful, man, so I don't care about anything you're talking about tonight. Drop it
Yeah.
on them.
Yeah. And you should care.
Yeah.
You should care about it because again, the KPI is the fundamental foundation of any business.
Hmm.
Longevity is very critical as an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
Within our Liberia space, within our immigrant space, we don't have,
Hmm.
like I said, transgenerational businesses, right? We
Hmm.
don't have multi 50, multi 500, and things like
Yeah.
that. And in
Hmm.
order for us to build those things, we need to have solid business systems, and
Yeah.
our business systems have to be integrated
Yeah.
and surrounded by KPIs. If
Hmm.
you're if you think that this is something that is too complex, it's not complex. It's very,
Yeah.
very easy, very, very basic to
Hmm.
start implementing, and you just continue to build on it. It
Yeah.
does take discipline
Yeah.
and commitment,
Yeah.
right? So those are two things that if you're struggling with, I'll say you have to work on.
Hmm.
But sooner or later, you need to start to put KPIs in place.
Yeah, to run this point, it's not just, we aren't telling you, what I mean, that it's easy to do, but it requires consistency. The one thing we are lacking in our communities is consistency, right? Is that it requires work. It's work.
True,
It's quite work. But
true.
when you see these companies in America, the one thing that amazes me, every quarter, company produces a financial result. Every quarter,
Yeah,
every three
yeah,
months.
yeah,
Dude, those
yeah,
that work in corporate finance is like they are basically putting no KPI numbers together every year because it allows these
yeah,
companies, these publicly traded companies, to go to Wall Street and
yeah.
present their numbers. They
Present the
tell
numbers.
you how much they present, how much they make in gross revenue.
Right.
Apple will tell you how many iPhone they sold.
Thank you.
Imagine they're telling you that, oh, we sold 50 million iPhone this quarter. In
Yeah,
3 months, they're telling you that.
yeah.
Okay? It's KPI, folks. It's KPI. And that's what Ronnie is talking and is telling you about. It is important for every business. It's a secret sauce behind every successful business. I think that's what separates America from the rest of the world. I think
True,
that's one of the things, data,
true.
because they take this thing seriously.
Very.
It can tell you their profit margin. It can tell you what's going on with the business. I mean, in manufacturing, you say you're in manufacturing,
Yeah,
man. They can tell you how many products are defective,
yeah,
what scrap and all those stuff. I mean, they
yeah.
can tell you which line is slow because
It's
of
slow.
X, Y, Z. They can
Yep,
tell you records on that
yeah,
everything, right? They can
yep,
give you those KPIs and stuff. So, but man, this has been a great show. I really enjoy it, especially to me. Data is my thing. When you're talking about numbers, I get
right.
excited about it. I'm glad that you brought this topic. But
Good.
I'll give you the final word tonight as we wrap up here. What's the message you want to leave with folks? The entrepreneurs, those are thinking about the business, those are in business, those are thinking about establishing business. What's the message you want to leave with them regarding this secret sauce that we have been discussing for over the last 1 hour?
Sure. If you have not started a business yet, you're on the cups in the process or is thinking about it, study KPIs. Understand KPIs and use KPIs to establish a business plan. Your
Mm-hmm.
business plan is going to inform you as to the level of risk associated with your business, the level of opportunities associated with your business. So it's very important for those who have not started a business yet. For
Yeah.
those who have started a business and you're thinking you have a successful business without KPI, I'll tell you this: you don't know your business is successful because you don't have KPIs, right? When you start to measure your business success, I guarantee you, you'll start having different conversation. Start having different awareness. Things might be going well right now, but are they going? Is the business efficient? Inefficiency is a different ball game.
Yeah.
Someone who is at a 50% efficiency is realizing different profitability than someone who's at a 40% efficiency. So
Yes.
KPIs allows you to drive continuous improvement in
Mm-hmm.
your business. So if you have a business, successful or not, start understanding KPIs, start implementing KPIs, and start driving consistency within your business.
And I would just say right to that, I would just say there's a difference between working in the business you talked about before and
And
working
working
on the
on the
business. So
business.
yeah, that's a good one right there. But folks, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a great show. My man Randy dropped some great gems tonight. The man's gonna be every Wednesday, gonna come
Yep,
with
every
great
Wednesday.
topic. Every Wednesday we're gonna be here. And my guest Miss Beach is gonna be as well. So every Wednesday we are committed to bringing business information for to you
Right,
guys, business and finance. So thank you
right.
so much, Randy. I mean, your
Okay.
first one, man, as always, man, is great. Folks, thank you. We'll be here tomorrow with a local candidate running for District 34B. It's our own Liberian man coming here tomorrow, to inform us about his plan for District 34B. And I hope our people can listen tomorrow so we can maybe try to support one of our own. Depending, though, for me, I vote for people if his message is right. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, folks, good night and see you all tomorrow.
All right. See you.
In a circle.